If I ask you who is your best friend, you will definitely name someone. And the same will be the case if I ask you about your worst enemy. What if I tell you that the one who you consider as your best friend is not really your best friend? What if I tell you that the one who you consider as your worst enemy is not really your worst enemy? I think this will leave you in a state of shock. But this is the truth. Let me tell you who your best friend is and also your worst enemy. Your mind. Yes, your mind is your best friend and it is also your worst enemy. Or rather, I should say that your mind has the potential to be your best friend and also your worst enemy. It completely depends on you who you want it to be. But one thing can be said here. If you leave the mind without taking charge of it, it will be your worst enemy. If you don't do anything to tame your mind, it will fill your life with tremendous suffering. It will literally wreak havoc on you. That's what the mind does to everyone who doesn't take any step to go beyond it. And I'm sure you have already experienced it. So now you know that if you don't do anything to control your mind, then it will simply be your worst enemy. And what can you expect from your enemy? I don't need to tell you that, right? So now that you know that your mind is your worst enemy, so you must be wanting to make it your best friend. How can you do so? Must be the question arising in your mind. The first step that you can take towards making your mind your best friend, is to see how it creates suffering in your life. Yes, you have to see that how it doesn't allow you to live peacefully, to live happily. The moment you start bringing the activities of your mind in your awareness, the moment you start witnessing all the patterns of your mind, then these patterns, which are responsible for all the problems in your life, lose their hold on you. The presence of these negative patterns of your mind means you are unconscious, you are unaware. So start witnessing these patterns and then only expect the transformation. Unless you see yourself that it's your mind that is at the root of your suffering, how can you really go beyond it and experience your divinity? Once you start witnessing these patterns, a gap will arise between these patterns and the real you. And it is this gap which will give you the taste of the real you. Yes, it is this gap which will flood your whole being with incredibly alive peace. But remember, witnessing means bringing the patterns in your awareness without any judgment, without any sort of judgment, without imposing any opinions on them. This is the most important thing about witnessing. In witnessing, there is no involvement whatsoever from your side. That's what witness means, right? Witnessing simply means non-judgmental watching. The thoughts will definitely try to pull your attention. The mind will try to play every trick in its book so that you identify with it. At such moments, you have to identify yourself with witnessing consciousness. You have to remind yourself that you are the witnessing consciousness, completely apart from this body-mind complex. And the very fact that you can see whatever is going on in your mind, The very fact that you can watch the actions of your body proves, it shows that you are separate from this body mind complex. See, this mind has the momentum of thousands of years, so it won't give in so easily. But you have to keep at it. You have to practice witnessing again and again. Then only that auspicious moment comes when you experience that the body mind complex is not who you really are. You are the divine infinite consciousness pervading the entire cosmos.